Welcome back to the Storyteller's Corner, the only place where we read between the lines to find the truth hiding in plain sight. This is whatever you need. There are certain couples in the history of cinema whose chemistry is so palpable, so electric, that it transcends the screen. It bleeds into reality until the audience can no longer tell where the script ends and the soul begins. For a generation of fans, that line was blurred most beautifully by Elçin Sangu and Barış Arduç. They were the lightning in the bottle. But as we all know, lightning is dangerous, and eventually, the storm passed, leaving behind a silence that felt heavier than any goodbye. But what if the storm didn't break? What if it just moved offshore, waiting for the winds to change? As we settle into 2026, the whispers in the corridors of Istanbul are becoming a roar. The duo that defined a genre is reportedly finding their way back to one another. But this is not the reckless rush of their youth. This is a story of mature reconciliation, of careful steps taken in the dark, and of a love that refused to be extinguished by time or distance. Today, we are going deep into the anatomy of this rumored reunion. We will look at the clues, the secret meetings, and the profound changes both stars have made to ensure that this time, the foundation holds. But before we unlock this chapter, I have a question for you. Do you believe that right person, wrong time is a real thing? Can a love that failed once truly succeed the second time around? If you love these deep, narrative explorations of the stars that matter, make sure you are subscribed to whatever you need. And for those who want to be part of our inner sanctum and support this kind of detailed storytelling, the join button is waiting below. Your membership fuels our passion. Now, let's step into the quiet revolution of Elçin and Barış. To understand the magnitude of this return, we must remember the weight of their departure. Their story began in the classic crucible of romance, the film set. Long hours, shared vulnerability, and a rhythm of laughter that developed between takes created a bond that felt inevitable. It spilled over into real life with a grace that captivated millions. A location tag here, a shared glance there, it was a romance documented in shadows and suggestions. Then came the drift. There was no explosive press release, no scandalous headline, just a slow, agonizing fade to black. The official reasons were the usual suspects: conflicting schedules, career pressures, the noise of the world drowning out the whisper of the heart. Silence filled the gap, and over time, that silence calcified into a wall. They went their separate ways, built separate successes, and the sharp edges of speculation dulled into a melancholic nostalgia. But according to sources who moved within their most trusted circles, feelings were never truly packed away. They were simply placed on a high shelf, out of reach but never out of sight. So how does a fire restart in the ashes? The reports suggest it didn't happen with a grand gesture or a cinematic declaration. It began with the bravest thing of all, a conversation. Small, tentative text messages turned into phone calls. Phone calls turned into meetings that were deliberately designed to be invisible. The word that keeps surfacing from insiders is reconsideration. It is said that Elçin Sangu, known for her fierce independence and emotional intelligence, spent a long period in reflection. She reportedly decided not to bolt the door shut on what they once had. But the condition for this return was strict: it had to be different. It had to be shielded. The approach this time is defined by a fierce protection of privacy. They are not walking red carpets, they are walking on eggshells, but they are doing it together. Clues have begun to pile up for those who know where to look. They have been spotted at the same venues in Istanbul, never entering together, never leaving together, but occupying the same space, breathing the same air, sharing a sunset that looks identical on their social media feeds if you overlay the images. Even without a single photograph of them side by side, the mood behind the scenes is that the secret is hardly a secret anymore. Mutual friends have started reappearing in both of their orbits, acting as bridges between their two worlds. The internet, naturally, has become a battlefield of interpretation. On one side, the hopeful romantics are calling it destiny, insisting that some threads are tied too tight to ever truly break. On the other, the realists are urging caution, remembering the pain of the first separation. Among the loudest voices are Elçin's devoted fans, who admire her strength and are protective of her heart. They want to ensure she isn't walking back into a pattern that didn't serve her. But from the principals themselves. Silence. No shared posts. No carefully staged paparazzi walks. And that silence is the loudest clue of all. If they were doing this for publicity, we would have seen a magazine cover by now. The fact that we haven't suggests that they are waiting for something far more valuable: stability. They are choosing to build the house before they invite the neighbors in to see it. This strategy of silence is fascinating. It raises a question about modern love in the public eye. I want to ask the whatever you need family. If you were them, would you hide your relationship to protect it, or would you live it out loud to stop the rumors? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We read every single perspective. And if you are enjoying this breakdown, please take a moment to like this video. It helps us find other fans who care about the story behind the story. For those who want to help us keep the lights on and the scripts coming, clicking that join button makes you a vital part of our team. We appreciate you more than you know. What makes this reunion credible is the reported change in their internal dynamics. In recent interviews, Elçin Sangu has dropped lines that feel like breadcrumbs for the soul. She speaks of life flowing in its own rhythm, of trusting instinct, and of listening to the heart once the noise dies down. These aren't just platitudes. In context, they read as a manifesto for her current state of mind. On the other side of the equation, whispers suggest that Barış Arduç has undergone his own evolution. Speaking only to those closest to him, he has allegedly owned up to past mistakes. The word is that he has expressed a desire to be more present, more patient, and less consumed by the rush of the industry. This wasn't an easy green light. Sources say the decision to try again came out of difficult, uncomfortable conversations. They had to dismantle the vague assumptions that killed them the first time and build clear, non-negotiable boundaries. The primary agreement: to treat their private life as a sanctuary, completely separate from the machine of their careers. Of course, you cannot talk about Elçin and Barış without talking about art. Rumors of a new collaboration are inevitable. Speculation is rife that they are quietly exploring scripts. Stories that would suit who they are now, not who they were 5 years ago. Mature, steady narratives that don't rely on cheap hype. The idea of a joint project is enough to break the internet, but what is more touching is the report that they are supporting each other's individual choices off camera. It paints a picture of two people creating room for one another's ambitions. It's a refusal to compete. Those who have seen them lately. Entering a jazz bar through the back door, sharing a quiet table in a neighborhood where no one expects them, describe a softness in their interactions. A glance that lingers. A shared joke that requires no words. It is the unmistakable body language of two people who have unpaused a song they stopped listening to years ago. In the gossip world, the narrative has already been written as the second act of a great unfinished play. But the question remains: is this a lasting chapter or a careful test? There is another layer here involving their families. Once upon a time, their families were close. Now talk indicates that those lines of communication have been gently reopened. This suggests that this isn't a fling. You don't reintroduce the parents for a fling. This is a thoughtful continuation. The drama here is not in the scandal, it is in the restraint. It is a story built on murmurs, not fireworks. And that, paradoxically, makes it more exciting. It suggests that what is happening between them matters more to them than it does to us. As we wait for the first unambiguous photo, the first public step taken side by side, one thing is clear: Elçin Sangu and Barış Arduç are rewriting the rules of celebrity romance. They are proving that sometimes, you have to go away to come back. They are showing us that love isn't just a spark, it's a light that you have to shelter from the wind. We will be here, watching with respect and curiosity, ready to chronicle the next beat of this heart. If they stand together again, it will be because they earned it in the dark. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the whispers on whatever you need. If you believe in second chances, leave a star emoji in the comments. And please, consider hitting that join button to support independent storytelling. Until next time, keep your heart open, and trust the timing of your life. Goodbye.